representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator.
Good morning and welcome to Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network. Open Conversation is the network's flagship political platform through which trending political news, events and stories are discussed with stakeholders. Through this conversation, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party system and actor to explore hope and engender positive impact to the society. Today on Open Conversation, we'll look at these topics. First, Rivers State. Governor Fubara plotting to delegitimize House of Assembly, APC says. Ondo State, 15 aspirants not a threat, says Governor Ayaditiwa. And on to Benue State, enforce anti-open grazing law, Achado tells Governor Alea. And on Kogi State, 4 SDP witnesses give contradictory testimonies. On Adamawa State, Labour Party state chairman sacked by council chairman. And on Kano State, Governor Yusuf inaugurates panels to probe Ganduje. National Assembly, Senate, not me, suspended Ningi. Akpabio replies Falana. And on politics, article calls for merger of opposition against APC. Do not go away. When I come back from this break, we'll delve right into the show.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the temple of God.
Access to our money we put in the bank. The POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the Tonte. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on The Fact Today, only on ATN.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the temple of God.
Access to our money we put in the bank. The POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the Tonte. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the temple of God.
Access to our money we put in the bank. The POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
Thank you for staying with us. A still open conversation on Atlantic Television Network. The All Progressive Congress in Rivers State has raised alarm over an alleged plan by Governor Siminalayi Fubara to procure interim orders from some judges to declare the Martins Amehule-led State House of Assembly as illegitimate. The chairman of the APC Caretaker Committee in Rivers State, Tony Okocha, revealed this during a press briefing in Port Harcourt on Thursday. Okocha, while withholding the names of the judges allegedly targeted by Fubara, vowed to disclose them in a petition to the Nigerian Judicial Council. Okocha asserted that Governor Fubara intends to utilize the orders to appoint caretaker committees in the 23 local government areas, contravening President Bola Tinubu's directive outlined in the Peace Pact signed by the governor, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, and others in December 2023. I have with me on the show this morning to do justice to the topics today, Barrister Forgiving Amakri, a legal practitioner and a public analyst. Good morning, Barrister Forgiving.
Yeah, good morning, Lorenzo, for having me here once again.
All right.
And good morning, our viewers out there.
And I also have with me on Open Conversation this morning, Mr. Obinna Ikem, a politician and a political analyst. Good morning, Mr. Obinna.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, our wonderful viewers.
All right.
Good morning.
Now, on to Rivers State, Barrister Forgiving. You are a legal practitioner. What is your take on this development in Rivers State? The allegation by APC that Governor Fubara is planning to delegitimize the House of Assembly?
Ordinarily, one will say that given the legal perspective, the lawmakers haven't defected from the PDP, the platform upon which they were elected, to another political party, the APC, definitely makes their seats vacant because the PDP, as we know today, is not factionalized. It's not divided. It's not in crisis from the national to the state. That being the reason upon which persons elected on a platform could defect. But that scenario is not what is obtainable today. So their positions should be vacant. But because of the political solutions, you know, the other day the governor said that the eight-point peace pact by the president was
a political
solution, not constitutional. And he had to obey and obliged to those conditions because of his respect for the person of the president who supervised that peace meeting. But we all know that it is not constitutional. So if there are people, perhaps, who we are not privy or parties to that particular agreement, the River State is so big. I'm not sure the governor can compel everybody to respect him. There are people who want the right thing to be done. So even if the governor had withdrawn his the cases he perhaps will have instituted in the court, there are individuals who will want the right thing to be done, because on the long run, what is paramount and important is the good and benefit of the generality of the people of River State and the residents therein. So if there are people who are in court, perhaps the Tony Okocha might have been privy of such situation, I don't know, and he will want to hoodwink the governor to blackmail him, you know, saying that he is the one that I may think so, because he has not shown us where where the governor is in court. It's just a suspicion, an allegation that has no concrete evidence. If he had shown us where the governor, His Excellency Siminalayi Fubara, has instituted a case for the removal of the lawmakers, then we will be talking about that. But he just made a general blanket statement. And what if it is an individual or individuals who have gone to court on their own to say, no, these people have done what is wrong. We gave them our mandate under this platform, and they've defected to another platform. So the right thing should be done. But bringing political sentiment without and making a blanket statement without evidence to buttress what he is alleging, to me, shouldn't be taken seriously. But everybody, just as I said, every individual, River State it consists of millions of persons. People have their individual right to pursue their case. And if anybody or group of persons decide to pursue this matter to its logical conclusion, that's their concern.
All right. Now, you talked about you talked about the peace pact being a political solution, and the fact that the governor also, agreed to the fact, stated it clearly that he signed the peace pact out of respect to President Bola Tinubu, and he also said himself that the peace pact was a political solution. Now, unconstitutional or not, it was a solution he signed and he adopted.
Yes.
Now, one of the concerns as raised by Tony Okocha is the caretaker committee that he wants to bring in acts against what he has signed in the peace pact to conduct council elections.
Well, when you look at the pact and the items therein, the issue of the caretaker committee, I think, was in respect to the dissolution of the existing local government executives as at when this pact was done. That they shouldn't be dissolved, because then there was this rumor that they want their tenures want to be truncated, and a caretaker committee will be put in place. But you and I know that governance is a continuity, and there shouldn't be vacuum. Up till now, local government elections have not been constituted. Have not been conducted. I mean,
isn't the governor by duty, is he not supposed to fund the RESEC?
Well, the election into the council is a process. It's not just something you do a day. There are laws. There are laws guiding it. And you know that River State has been in a state of crisis, orchestrated and supported by some of these actors. So where there is a conducive atmosphere to start the processes of conducting this.
Has there been violence on the streets? Have we had any case of political violence right now? Have we had any case of political assassination? Is it until people are killed before you will know that there is crisis? Barrister, forgive me. When people keep saying, oh, if there is local government elections right now, the River State is going to be ungovernable and all of that, it makes me question where that is coming from, because so far there has been no form of violence in River State that will, give people the locus to say there will be, because that's preemptive. But let me come to Mr. Obinna. Mr. Obinna, what is your take on the statement by APC, Mr. Tony Okocha, saying Governor Fubara is plotting to delegitimize House of Assembly?
Okay, before I dive into that topic, I want to completely disagree with my brother here for giving Amakri, who is a lawyer, and I think we owe the society a duty to, at all time, state facts as they are, and not being sentimental. the issue he raised here, the issue of state assembly members who defected to APC, and the constitutional provisions that made it an offense for them not to move, is not an automatic section. Those sections cannot be activated on their own. They have said that the reason why they left was that there is a crisis in PDP. They said so. Give it to them, whether they are lying, whether this is a statement of fact or not. The issue is that they have made such position. The law says that if they have said so, it is for those who had the locus to go to court and state their case and said this position these people took is not the actual position. The court will look at it based on the evidence available and make pronouncement as long as that issue is concerned. And you cannot just say that because they have left and their seats will be vacant. It's not, I don't think the society is run like this in this form. What we're saying is that they said we left because there is no valid secretary, the secretary of the party, our secretary of the party at the national, is in crisis. There is a problem in regards to that position. That's what they said. And if they have said so, what you ought to do, if you have the locus, like I know that several persons who are going to court to challenge that position, does not have the locus. It is the PDP, either from the state or the national, that are supposed to go to court and say, no, we don't have issues with our the secretary of our party. That our secretary of our party is so and so person, the secretariat is functioning. Based on that, your defection is illegal and the court should nullify it. That is what we are saying. He's a lawyer. He knows that these are the processes that are supposed to be taken. Having said that, the issue raised by Tony Okocha, stating that the governor intends to go to court and procure a judgment against the state assembly, I think is neither here nor there. The governor have, by his act, given effect to the actions of state assembly by writing to them to screen the commissioners that resigned based on the pact he signed with the president. I think the governor should be honorable enough to follow this this pact he signed with the president to the letter, because I don't understand where a governor, how a governor of a state will go to the president and agree. He has his right. Nobody coerced him. He wasn't under gunpoint to say, Mr. President, I have seen what you have said I should sign. I will go back and discuss with the Rivers people and come back to you. That is what I expected him to do if you feel he is not going to honor that pact, that agreement. But there and then, he told the president that I will sign, and he signed. And he came back and refused to implement them to later. He is saying that election, the governor can appoint caretaker because there shouldn't be vacuum. But the constitution said that no part of this country should be governed except through elected representative. It's very, that others are doing it, that things are happening in the past and nobody has questioned it, does not make it right. The law is very clear that no part of this nation should be governed except through elected representative. What we're saying is that the governor has ample opportunity to conduct this election, but because of those who are advising him, he has refused to do that. And the consequences is that he will face it, because the state assembly have already passed a law that in the event that we didn't conduct election, that they will go ahead through a resolution and ask whoever that is there, both the councillors and the local government chairman and their fight, to continue. And if he refused to obey the state assembly's resolution, what he's calling is for anarchy. And I pray that we shouldn't get to that point. That he should do, he still have opportunity to reach out to the state assembly if there is a law, if there is a way to amend the law, considering the declaration of election and whatever the laws that are supposed to be done. They should try to make sure that they amend the sections that will accommodate us to do election within 2 months or 3 months that is remaining, so that we won't have these issues that will cause crisis in the state. He is saying that the environment has not been conducive for election, and you rightly asked him, is there any crisis in the state? I drove from my house to this place. There is no issue. There is nothing. that two gladiators are having issue disagreement does not concern the entire citizen of this very state. We want to be governed right. We want our representative to be elected through us. That is what we are saying. All right, that is it.
Well, let me come in by saying that when I said the position, the seats of the assembly is vacant by their crossing over, defecting to another political party, they are still there. I said that by that action, it is deemed that their seats is vacant, but it is a court of law that will be that will pronounce ultimately, and that is what some people are doing, and that is perhaps what Tony Okocha is referring to, the governors refusing to abide by the presidential peace pact. And I said that I know that it will not be the governor that will go to court. It may be ordinary citizens of Nigeria that are going to court saying, since these people have done this act, and the law says that the condition they will live should be when the party is in crisis, when there is division. And let me say, my brother Ekem, that PDP is not in crisis. There is no division. The office of the secretary was just in dispute between when Sam Ayan went to contest elections. But I think long now he has been reinstated, and he is operating as a secretary. So there is no division howsoever in the party. So, but it is a court that will determine that, if that is the ground upon which they are claiming to have defected. And let me also say this, so that our viewers there will not be misled. If you tell me that there is no crisis, political crisis in Rivers State, and we are seated here, when even in this station and your sister radio stations, crisis issues and discussion is what has been ongoing for months, until people is it when people begin to kill themselves that you know that there is crisis. You know, it is better to prevent anarchy. It is better to prevent bloodshed. It is better to manage crisis, to prevent crisis, than managing it. So when there is a foreseeability of an action happening, something that will be inimical to the well-being of the people, you take every practical step as a responsible government that is responsive to the plight of the people, to take measures that will prevent such from occurring. So if the condition as at today is not conducive, you give time and take steps, and you don't know the steps that government is taking on the ground to ensure that ultimately elections will be conducted. But must it be at the instance of Tony Okocha and his co-travelers?
Okay, now if you say must it be at the instance of Tony Okocha and his co-travelers, let's look at the Constitution.
Yes.
Right. Now, didn't the Constitution provide a window for electioneering, for campaigning towards the end of the end of local government council tenure? Didn't the Constitution provide that?
Yeah, there is provision for that. That's why I said it is processes. It takes procedures now, to be conducted.
Going by the Constitution, shouldn't the RISEC be funded by now?
What if what if RISEC or the local government chairman, as presently constituted, are also part of the problems? What if? Have you averted your mind to that?
Now the question you're asking me is hypothetical, right?
Yeah.
Because it's hypothetical, because right now no local government chairman has come out to. You cannot identify any local government chairman in Rivers State right now that is a problem.
Let me. I am from Ahoda West.
Okay.
Local government. The same PDP supporters wanted to do Thanksgiving. That was about a month or thereabout ago. And they were preparing the stage. The local government chairman, Honorable Hope Ikriko, physically led people, let me not call them talks, his people, supervised and protected by police. I'm saying this in the open because it happened to destroy. I have the pictures with me here. I can show you. I even have videos with me here to destroy and all the things put in place by the people who wanted to just do Thanksgiving because he's a local government chairman. He has powers. It happened in a chair the week thereafter. These things are in the open. You could just go online. You see them, and you are sitting here telling me that the local government people have not been constituting nuisance and they've not been a problem or hindrance for the peaceful atmosphere in the state. That's not true. I'm telling you, this one is there online. It happened. If these SIM supporters are not being peace-loving people, there will have been bloodshed. But because they knew that he has a time frame upon which he will live, we said, okay, let's endure so that we don't waste lives unnecessarily. That's what happened. If not, you want to see deaths. You want to see dead people before you will know arising from political crisis. The governor, His Excellency, is not that type. I mean, similarly, Fubara is not the violent type. If he was disposed to that, the state will have been worse than what. Amidst all the provocation, he has held his peace and he has directed his followers to follow suit. That is why you've not seen the escalation of crisis the way you want it to see, because he's taking precautionary measures, preventive measure, and restraint. You heard him say the other day that he's not a coward. That if you push him to the wall, you understand, you may not like inferring from what he said that he shouldn't take his peaceful disposition as cowardice. But because he loves the River State people and he wants peace, that is why he is restraining himself from taking certain steps. Not that he does not know what to do when you take him for granted.
Okay. Mr. Obina, you wanted to...
Yes, I wanted to respond. Yes. Okay. My brother Makri, I would have expected you as a lawyer to know that what you have just said here, that Hope Ikriko did, is a criminal. If at all he did it, it's a criminal act. And you even said that the police escorted him. Is it that we're in a lawless society where police will escort a local government chairman to go and disrupt a peaceful gathering of people? And if that is the case, I think the law enforcement agencies should sit up and do their work. But I have never seen the reason why a local government election will not be conducted in this state if the governor is sincere and the governor does not have ulterior motive to plug this state into crisis. I don't see any reason. I have even in Borno, where there is Boko Haram, in Zamfara, where there is bandits, local government elections are being held. River State, as peaceful as this state is, you are telling me that there won't be election in this state because there is political crisis. Antonio Kocha, who is a leader and also a party chairman of a political party, APC, is not interested in what is happening in this state. Shouldn't be interested in what is happening in this state as regards local government election. I don't understand. What we are saying is, my brother, that the governor you call a very peaceful person. Yes, that is the posture, that is his demeanor people are looking at. But what we are saying is that beyond that, we should read his actions. Local government election, since inception, or since 2015, apart from the time we had the transition from APC government, this PDP, we have been conducting local government election. What we are saying is that the RESEC have made every attempt for him to fund them, and he has refused to fund them deliberately. The constitution, the budget that Wike passed before he left included the money for the RESEC in that budget. Well, he refused to release the money, and that is what is bringing the crisis. Because the people who elected these persons that are living are eager to elect the next people that will come up and take responsibility as long as local government administration is concerned. And he is saying no. From his body language, he has said no, because he want to appoint caretaker, or he want to ask the civil servant to continue to run the local government, which is unconstitutional. You are a lawyer. You know that there is no way the local government could be governed by non-elected persons. It's very simple.
Well, from our headings here, let the court look into the legitimacy or otherwise of the state.
But if the governor has signed a peace pact,
yes,
to conduct local government elections,
yes.
Now, you said, if I may, you said that what that peace pact talked about with regards to local government,
it's
about
not
the people who were already seated,
good.
Not
to dissolve them before the expiration of their time. You understand, which he has done. He has obliged. Their tenure will expire. I think by the 17th of June, their tenure will have elapsed, and by then. There shouldn't be vacuum, even if for any period that's sole administrator by the.
Why should there be sole administrator when there should be room for elections?
As today, election has not been conducted. So
why is there no campaigning? Why?
That's what we are saying.
Why at the local government right now? Campaigns should have. Be in top gear at the council level. Why is that not happening?
You're repeating it. I've told you that no responsible government will want to create a chaotic situation. So if you foresee that an existing situation will lead the state and where it will degenerate into a state of anarchy and crisis wreathing, you take proactive steps, every step, to ensure that a conducive atmosphere is established before that thing will be done. If I've asked you, what if the local government chairmen are the major, because they are there in office, are the major arrowhead of problem-prone establishments that you want? Okay, I've given you examples. I could give you more. You understand? If such situation could occur, like it happened in Ahoda West and some other local government, just for mere Thanksgiving. Imagine when campaigns start. I've been in this state and we've been involved where people were killed during campaigns. I'm not sure any responsible government will want such situation to repeat itself. So if the government as of today is taking steps to say, no, this thing is not due now. Let's have a conducive atmosphere where peaceful elections will be conducted. Let us not preempt their intentions. Let us not sit here to say, I think government that means well for its people will bring out programs that will impact on the people positively, and that will not further deepen the crisis that is being controlled as it is today.
All right, Barrister Forgiven, well said, well enunciated. But then there are also concerns around what you just said as well. Now, if the government is being proactive and the government feels if local government elections are to be conducted, is going to plunge the state into anarchy. Right. Now, on the other hand, the government, don't you think the government appears to be in between the devil and the deep blue sea right now? Because on the other hand, the people are agitating for local government elections.
Which
hold
people?
On, Barrister Forgiven, hold on.
The people of Rivers State
you are one man. This is another man. He's also a Rivers State person.
Yes.
So I am sure that there are also people that fall into his school of thought, just as other people that also fall into, so there are people that want these local government elections to hold. You can't sweep that under the carpet. Now, also the House of Assembly is saying local government elections have to hold. Now, if the governor says, like you said, if the governor takes your position, you said there is a possibility, a very high possibility, the state will be plunged into anarchy. Now, if they...
As at now.
Will be plunged into anarchy if local government elections hold right now. Now, on the other hand, if the governor decides, okay, we are not going to hold the local government election, another section of the state, another set of people in the state might plunge the state into anarchy. The same thing he's avoiding might happen on the other hand. Now, the difference here is this. The House of Assembly, again, don't you think it will bring governance to a halt? Because now the State House of Assembly is hell-bent that elections must hold. You understand? Now, if the State House of Assembly, look at the political quagmire. If the State House of Assembly now comes out to say, okay, since there will be no local government elections, we are extending the tenure of the council chairman, and the governor on one hand says there will be no local government elections, I am bringing out caretaker committee chairman. How do you see this quagmire playing out? Isn't it going to plunge the state into deeper crisis than you have envisaged?
You see, these same persons or people who are now agitating that elections should hold now have hitherto been beneficiaries of similar situation. Recall that in 2015, before the exit of Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amechi, the former governor, election into the local government council was properly conducted. People had been on that seat for about 3 months before he was, when he was sworn in. He dissolved elected local government council and set up caretaker committee, and nobody died. So let me come. Nobody died. You understand? And some of these persons were beneficiaries of it. Nobody died. It was best known to him why he chose to do what he did. The governor who leads this state knows why he feels it is not conducive as at today
so why
to conduct
in face of agitations from different quarters. Why is the governor has been saying a lot on the public space recently. He has been saying a lot. Now, despite being vocal about a lot of things in the state, he has been silent on the issue of local government election, knowing that that is one of the major issues in the state right now, and knowing that there are people that he leads, that he's leading, and he wants them to be at peace. Some of these people are agitating for this local government election. So if the governor recently has been so vocal about issues in the state, why can't he address this? At least lay a lot of concerns to rest. Okay.
Let me come here. My brother have said something here. Like he said, our duty here is to make sure that our people, especially the viewers, are not misled. The former governor Onyeso Wike in 2015 did not dissolve the elected local government that was conducted before he came in. The PDP at that time, as soon as we came in, went to court against INEC and RESEC. Maybe you have forgotten. Justice Akambi. I remember that the judge that gave that judgment was Justice Akambi. At the end of the day, Justice Akambi gave judgment that the local government election that was conducted at that time was not legitimately conducted, and therefore nullified that election. On that basis, on that premise, Yes, Wike then appointed caretaker committee chairman.
Well, I'm not sure what you are saying is substantially different from what I said.
No, you said
whether he went to court,
it was
or howsoever, it was orchestrated by his government. Don't forget. Wait, let me come. See, I am speaking from.
It's okay. Okay. You have your time, and it was dissolved.
Okay.
And he appointed caretaker committee, and immediately appointed caretaker committee, he also forwarded names to the State Assembly for confirmation of members of RESEC. That was why it was it delayed the time to conduct the election was delayed. But when it became right to conduct election, he funded RESEC, and RESEC conducted election. What we're saying is that you can say that those of them are the people who benefited, that it was happening in the past, that they were using caretaker committee to run our government in the past does not make it legitimate. What we are saying is that the writing, it is time we continue to agitate for the writing. Let elected representatives govern our various local government and the wards. What we are saying is that if the governor is the chief security officer of the state, if there is no report, there is no daily, all the security agencies does not give him report. If there is a local government chairman that is orchestrating crisis, or there is anybody, the duty of the governor is to order for the person's arrest, so that the security agency will take the person out. You cannot tell, even in 2015 when Goodluck Jonathan was president of this country, there was crisis, especially in the north. Virtually all the states in the north were engulfed by one crisis. At a point he even wanted to delay the election and went to Brunu to clear about, 14 local governments. You have to send security agencies to clear for them, to make sure that the environment is conducive for election. And our governor is here. And like you said, assuming without considering that there is a local government chairman or chairman that are causing this crisis or making it impossible for election to hold, what will the governor do? Is to concentrate on those local government and drafting the security agencies to make sure that they put to stop whatever thing that will militate against the local government. I want to tell you that it is deliberate that the governor have refused to conduct this election just to achieve a certain aim that is a script that has been prepared for him by those who are advising him. Because personally myself, I don't have issues with the governor. I don't have issues. He's a peaceful person, I know for that. But people are ill-advising him. And the time is right for him to ask those people to leave so that he will govern the state. Governors have taken flight. We are not hearing, what we are hearing is Thanksgiving in place of commissioning. While Yesuwike was there, almost every day we hear he's commissioning this, flagging up this project in this local government and in this senatorial zone. Now that one have given way for Thanksgiving. Is it only in River State that Supreme Court gave judgment in the whole federation? That every day is Thanksgiving. We are no longer hearing project commissioning, project flagging up.
Well, you said you promised me that I wanted to say something. That I will have a right of reply. You see, the governor, our present governor, is not the dancing governor. It's not the noise. It's not the noise. It's not the noise making governor. He is silently commissioning projects. Is silently. What matters? Can you give us examples? There are so many projects that he has commenced. He has gone to do the groundbreakings without noise. Yes, that he has started. There are some he has commissioned without necessarily making noise.
Would you say with the increased FAC allocation that the governor is receiving and the IGR from the state,
yes, that
the projects being flagged up by the governor is commensurate? Are they?
Yeah, there are so many. There are so many. There are so many. I know, but they are not within my distance now. But I could make them. I could make them. No, I know them.
Issues. Aren't these the issues, Barrister? Forgiving.
Yes.
Aren't these the issues? Because
Let me give you one. Let me give you one now.
It's all about governance. It's all about governance at the end of the day, right?
Yes. Yeah.
People want to see what their taxes are being used for.
Yes.
People want to see what the FAC allocations are being used for.
Yes.
People want to feel the impact of governance, right? Now, if I may say, during the time of FCT minister, maybe that was why he was called Mr. Project. It wasn't about the noise. You could see the impact of governance. Probably he was more into infrastructure. right? Probably Governor Sim may be into some other kind of, his style might be different. He can,
but you are taking my time. No, you've not.
You will have your say. Because I need to land so that you can address my concerns.
Yes.
Now, but at the end of the day, with Governor Sim Fubara, there seems to be a loud, deafening silence when it comes to, you know, impact of the governor and impact of governance and flagging off of projects. You know, we need to see more. Now, I am asking you, you know, based on the comparisons I have made, would you say, of course, former Governor Amechi also did a great job in Rivers State, and then Jason Wike started his own. Both of them, side by side, you would say they did well. Now, Governor Sim Fubara is here, and he's almost 1 year in office. Would you say, genuinely, sincerely, that with what the state government has been receiving so far, and the projects that you said he is silently flagging off, that is commensurate?
Okay. Now, do you know that the employment of the citizens takes a lot of money? And do you know, cast your mind back, during the immediate past government, you know that promotions we are not done. Promotion requires a lot of capital involvement. If you construct all the flyovers and I don't have the means, if you construct all the hospitals and I don't have the means, and the citizens are poor, will I go to those? I'm coming free. So these are some of the silent areas. Human capacity building and strengthening. You understand? Across board, across all sectors. The RUTC that was moribund, that was jettisoned, and the staff were languishing over the years, is back on board now. The staff have been profiled, and it's back on board. There's a staff college, UST staff school, that the staff and members of in that establishment were just left like that, nothing paid. He has brought them back. You understand? Now, let me come. Yeah. I'm telling you, in River State here, we are more of a civil servant state. How many rivers people? I say we are more. I'm not saying
commercial.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. Is he living out the commercial aspect of it?
Are you saying that these promotions? Are you saying that this promotion
is RUTC not a commercial venture?
Hold on. Are you saying that this?
No, I am coming. Just within the week.
Are the things that are eating up
Just this week, they've started the Elele to Ikiri Omoko dualization, spanning how many kilometers? You didn't hear about it. You understand? And so many other projects. It's not living out infrastructures. It's touching the agri sector, the health sector, the commerce and industry, and all that. Is touching them.
I just wish, Barrister, forgiving that you can actually list when you say this
in concrete terms.
When you say this, you list. I wish.
Because I'm not holding brief for the government. I'm not the official woman, but I know about them. I may not have, but if you so wish, just today I can forward you with all those things. In short, I'll forward them to you. I will do that. I'll forward them to you. Then you read it here to people that I said I will forward them to you, and I forwarded them to you. I would love to see that too.
I would love that.
Yes,
all right. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll look at Ondo States. Do not go away.
Midnight, it's not about the Tonte. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe, stay focused on The Fact Today, only on ATN.
People. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 50,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 50,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the Tonte. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 50,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 50,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth.
Thank you for staying with us. It's still Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network. Governor Lucky Ayedetiwa of Ondo State on Thursday dismissed the threat of the 15 governorship aspirants vying for the ticket of All Progressive Congress ahead of the April 20 primary election. Ayedetiwa spoke with journalists after he submitted his expression of interest and nomination forms at the National Secretariat of the APC in Abuja. Ayedetiwa remained the aspirant to beat ahead of the shadow poll, adding that he was not afraid of his co-contestants. Barrister, forgiven, you are not unaware of the whole debacle going on in the state, starting from, you know, the back and forth between Ayedetiwa and the late Akeredolu before he died, the death of Akeredolu, and of course the controversies that surrounded his emergence as the governor succeeding Akeredolu, and then the crisis, the internal wranglings that has happened since he became the governor. Would you say, number one, that in face of what has happened so far, that Ayedetiwa has done a good job of galvanizing grassroots support for himself, do you see him clinching this ticket?
Well, the death of Akeredolu is quite unfortunate, especially happening at this time of a transition, yes, where he will have ordinarily guided the process. His death through the state and especially the APC into this situation we are finding them now. Well, to me, they let the process of the primaries be free and fair. That is what matters. There shouldn't be any favoritism. The factor of someone being incumbent shouldn't come to play. The national executives of the party, of the APC, should be fair enough to conduct primary elections that will be acceptable by all the other co-contestant aspirants that want to govern the state. As to whether Edetowa has garnered enough grassroots support will depend on the electorates, but I know that his opposition will be very stiff, coming from starting from perhaps the Akeredolu family and supporters, who saw him as having betrayed Akeredolu even before his death. This will be a time to pay him back in his coins, and they will garner and gather all forms of opposition against him to the already existing opposition. So, and you know that Akeredolu's supporters and support base has been over the years, and it is strong, even though he was also part of that political family. So the result will determine whether he has the support of the people. But my major concern is that for now we are talking about the primaries. There are other political players from other political parties. When they emerge, we can now, we don't know how potent and strong the PDP candidate might be. They may see this as opportunity to take over the state, where with the crisis that is bedeviling the APC as a result of the rift, division between the Ayadetowa base and the Akeredolu. Now, over 15 aspirants and contestants are also having issues with him. It means that if he emerges in a situation, as a governorship candidate, in a situation that is not acceptable by these persons, they may also team up with other people to work against him. So he has a very, very tight situation to pass through before he could return to sit as the governor. We know that Ondo State and most of the western states are very much political, alive and active, and very conscious, unlike the south and the southeast, where one person will be able to overwhelmingly manipulate the process. It's not that easy in the west, because everybody knows what you know. Yeah, they are very conscious and aware. So if he wants to return as a governor, he needs to work very, very hard.
All right. Now, Mr. Obinna, you are a politician, yes, right? And do you think at this point there is a possibility for Ayadetiwa to get things right now? Because when he emerged as the governor of Ondo State, a lot of commissioners, you know, under Akeredolu, the late Akeredolu, resigned. And to a large extent, he did not call them back. There was not a time when he made a move to reconcile, you know, disgruntled people within the party and people that were very, very loyal to Akeredolu. Now, in this primaries now, it appears that there is going to be a face-off between the Aketi faction and the Ayadetiwa faction. And so far, like it or not, the late Aketi was loved. Not just by his immediate family, by his political party and by the people of Ondo State. Do you see that sympathy for, or that love for Aketi, you know, showing in the primaries? Because, I mean, if it's the Guba elections, it could be different. But this is the primary, it's an in-house thing. How do you think it's going to play out?
Well, I'm very conversant with how party politics is played at this stage. I want to give it for free that Itua will succeed in these primaries. I understand he will succeed. But
why do you say that?
Because I know as a sitting governor, he has a lot of influence and he has a lot of resources, both in terms of material and other.
So is it going to be a case of he who pays the piper dictating the tune?
Definitely he will succeed. But my problem is that politics is a structural business, it's a structural game. I don't see, because I have not seen the governor trying to galvanize the structure that the family he has been following, the Ekiti family.
Yes.
Very, very much. I've been following up what is happening there. He has not, like you said, he has not made any attempt to bring them together and assure them that in this business you have stake. In this business, this person have his own stake and not the rest. He has not been able to do that. He came in and began to believe that the social media or the fanfare that is happening in Ondo State will go to his way. The problem he will have is on the general election.
Okay.
That general election, he will have it very difficult because
he will not be a popular candidate.
Even though he's a popular candidate, the issue is that who has capacity to organize the people and organize. Politics is a process. There are several things that happens in the politics before even the election. A lot of things. And who are those people who will be able to do those things? Does he have them? And this is where he will have problem, because if after the election, the primaries, the fallout, if he cannot handle the fallout, these other people will move to either a PDP or Labour Party. Labour Party has a very good candidate, the former LBA president. He's there.
That's in Edo State.
No, that's in Edo State.
Okay, that is in Edo State. Okay, very sorry about that. What we're saying is that if he can manage the fallout of that very primaries, because certainly he will succeed, he will be the candidate of APC. But what happened thereafter is our problem. Is the problem of APC there. He may not be able to get the structure to work for him. And if that is not the case, he will fail that election. That is my own position. I agree 100% with what my brother Barrister Forgive said, that he needs to be very, very careful, because politics is a structural game. He has to make sure that the structure works for him. If the structure doesn't work for him, you will have issues.
But then, APC in Ondo State came out to, there was a comment the APC made. They said, we are going to produce the most popular candidate. Now, when they say popular within that statement, it's subjective. It could mean anything. So when they say we are going to produce the most popular candidate, the question is now, is Ayaditiwa popular?
Well, I have said that if the process is fair enough, it will produce a credible and acceptable candidate, and such acceptable candidate should be the most popular candidate. That is, if the process is fair enough. I've been involved in political offices and management of parties, and I know the influence the national party has to bear in terms of who emerges the candidate of a political party. The party has a very strong role and vital roles to play, because the primaries will be conducted from the national. They deploy the electoral committees, and it is the electoral committees who come down to the state here to engage locals that they deserve and desire to work with them. So if they follow due process diligently and ensure that the process is not skewed to favor anybody, and then a very popular and acceptable candidate, whether it's Ayaditiwa or any other person, will emerge. But if that is not done, I'm telling you that is going to spell doom for the APC in Ondo State, just like just like what all of us have observed. I thought after the demise of Akeredolu that what Adejowa should have done is to go on fence mending, peace initiatives, no matter who was angry against him, no matter who he offended, he will have sent out the olive branch, because you know that you will be the ultimate beneficiary. When you know that you are the ultimate beneficiary, you will stoop low. I say there's the book we read, She Stooped to Conquer. You will take all the nonsense on your head, knowing that the ultimate goal is for you to be victorious in the forthcoming election. That I'm not seeing him doing, as he is still involved in contentious argument with so many persons in the Aketi political family and even beyond. Except he knows something that we don't know, that he's expecting to use the magic wand to win the elections. If not, I'm not seeing him taking the right steps by sending the peaceful overture to the people who will now sway voters on his behalf. Election is a game of number, is the popularity, except you think otherwise and you know something otherwise you will do. So that's my take.
All right. A member of the House of Representatives, Asema Achado, has called on Governor Hyacinth Alia to enforce the state's anti-open grazing law. Achado, representing Gwe East and Gwe West, made the call in the wake of the tragic killing of 17 people in the Wando Mbiokyo community of Gwe East local government area. During a condolence visit to the affected community, Achado stated the urgent need for the strict implementation of the open grazing prohibition law. Recall that the state government had issued a 2-week ultimatum to herders grazing openly in the state, which ended on March 6, 2023. The government had warned of implementing the anti-open grazing law after the ultimatum expired. Barrister Forgiven, what do you think about this? Isn't it time for this anti-open grazing law to be implemented in Benue State?
Yeah, not just in Benue State. I am of the view that nationwide, the anti-grazing laws should be made and implemented, because just the other day I was watching in Abuja, they were in the heart of the city. Up till now, you see head of cows moving on the main road inside the city. It's something you can't see anywhere in the world. And it's happening in Nigeria, the Federal Capital Territory, and people are looking the other way around. In the case of areas like Plateau and Benue, the nuisance caused by these herdsmen and their cows is something that is unbearable. It's not something that you can't even imagine. When people, after suffering and famine, just in a soup, one day, all that will go into the drains when these cows will march and destroy their foodstuffs and their crops. Is certainly appalling and painful. So I am in 100% support of what the lawmaker Achado is saying, that the anti-grazing law should be implemented. Haven't given them ultimatum and warned them in Benue, and the ultimatum has already expired since 6th of March. Over a month now. They should implement, and cease, confiscate any cow and their property, whatever they see in the street. They should be confined to particular areas to graze their cow. You can't be pushing your costs at my own detriment. You are looking for your source of livelihood, and you are behaving as if the other person does not exist. You have a right over every other person. To me, it should no longer be tolerated. Right. Government should take every step in Benue to ensure that the anti-grazing law is implemented now.
All right. Now, Mr. Obinna, looking at the anti-open grazing law and the issues of insecurity in Benue State, Benue is known as the food basket of the nation, and their IGR heavily relies on agriculture. Now, with the clash between the herdsmen and the farmers, it has to a large extent affected the economy of the state, not to mention the loss of lives, the property and agricultural products. The question is, having seen the effect of this open grazing in Benue State, why has the government not yet fully implemented this? Do you think the government, or in this case, Governor Hyacinth Alia, do you think he has the political will to implement this law in Benue State? What do you think?
Well, you have said it. What is lacking in our leaders is the political will. That is why some of us applaud and support our leader, Ezebunwaye Sowike, because among all the leaders who have seen, he is the only person that we think that have that political will to take decision, no matter how strong it is, as long as it's for the interests of the people. That is what is lacking. Autumn did it and he paid dearly for it. Autumn did very well to make sure that these headers are restricted to their ranches. During the election, if you know what happened in Benue State, you will understand that he paid dearly for making sure he was on the side of his people. And Governor Alia, I don't think has that political will. He will also be one to seen as the good boy. But beyond that, what is important is your people. Every day people die in this country, not only in Benue, in Plateau, even in Nasarawa, people are dying on a daily basis because of this practice. And it is time for us to take proactive steps to stop this menace. It is no longer comfortable for citizens. You can't go to your farms, and you are saying that the thing is affecting the economy of Benue State. It's not only Benue State, it's also affecting the economy of the country, because if the food moves from Benue and come to River State, it will also be beneficiaries of such this. But today, people cannot farm, people cannot go to their farm. You go to your farm. Even in River State, we are still having some issues. We that are from the rural area, every day headers will go and destroy people's farm. You talk this. If you see the audacity, these things have been done. I think even the federal government should come in and see how we will curtail this thing. It's no longer fashionable to begin to rear your cow on people's farm and even on the road. Ranching is the best way to go. Right. Because this is a business. You don't use your business, like my brother said, your own cause to destroy my own cause. It's no longer. Federal government should come up and be decisive about this thing. I know that the former government was the people accuse them of supporting the headers because of their tribe. But this one now, I think the Bola Ahmed Tinubu should come up and see how he will consult widely and take position that will stop this nonsense. People are dying. Imagine how many persons that have been killed. Right. On a daily basis, people are killed. These are reported ones. What of the unreported ones? This is something we must stop if we must move forward. And our security agencies must make sure they live up to their expectation and go after these criminals. They are criminals. These are murderers.
Okay. 4 Social Democratic Party witnesses that testified on Wednesday in the ongoing hearing of the Kogi State Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja gave contradictory testimonies. The witnesses gave their accounts before the 3-member panel of justices led by Justice Ado Birinkudu. The SDP and its governorship candidate, Murtala Ajaka, are challenging the victory of Governor Osman Ododo of the All Progressive Congress in the November 11, 2023 election. A witness, Dan Lamin Yakubu from Ajokuta local government area of Kogi, said he was an agent of the SDP during the election. Yakubu, who said he was a member of the SDP, a voter and the party's agent during the poll, however, told the tribunal under cross-examination that he has lost everything that could prove that he was an agent. When asked if he stated in his deposition before the tribunal that he was an agent in the election, he said he forgot to do so. He also alleged that his lawyer wrote his deposition for him. Barrister forgiven. Interesting twist of events in Kogi State. Now, this whole drama started first when some witnesses accused the opposition party of beating them up at the tribunal. Now, after that particular event, the next hearing, some witnesses came and completely said different things. And when they were asked under cross-examination, they even claimed they were not the ones that wrote those particular statements. Now, another drama is happening again. How can you forget to write something in your deposition and yet that was what you said in court? And under cross-examination, you're now denying in the first place you never wrote it, it was your lawyer.
It was your lawyer.
That wrote it. So what information did you give to your lawyer in the first place? But then you are the legal luminary here. What do you think about this whole thing?
Well, I first of all, I'll blame the lawyers to the SDP governorship candidate who didn't do due process by briefing and interviewing and educating their witnesses before bringing them to testify in the court. This is a case that is of a very serious nature, a governorship election petition tribunal. They're talking about who sits at the as the governor of the state, and such witnesses that you choose or elect to present should be high-profile witnesses. It shouldn't be witnesses you just pick in the street. And such persons, you should have had interview sections with them. Yes, everybody may not be educated enough to write their own affidavit, but they can tell you what to write. You read to them and they adopt it as theirs, they sign, so that the lawyers wrote for him wouldn't be fatal. If he said, I couldn't write, I told him what to write, but it is my affidavit, it is, you own it up because you are the one that will have signed and endorsed it. But to cut the whole story short, I think they were not properly briefed before they appeared. But also, my involvement in politics has also taught me that witnesses could also be compromised. That is why it is very dangerous when you are calling your witness. Even in ordinary day matters, witnesses could be compromised, either and induced to even deny what they've stated, or even contradict themselves. They could be. That's a different thing. We are here for the removal of the governor. So who is averring the mind to perjury or whatever, or lying or not. So, but what is important is that they are spoiling the case of the petitioner, and unfortunately, it's definitely going to tell on the weight to be attached to their witnesses. And when you have such contradictory witnesses in your case, you obviously know what the result will be. That it will not be in your favor. The lawyers should have done better than what they do by grooming and tutoring, lecturing, interviewing the witnesses before bringing them to testify.
Okay. Mr. Obinna, as a politician, what do you think happened in this case?
My brother, the lawyer has said politics has happened to this. As long as I'm concerned, politics has happened to these witnesses. But I think the lawyers should have done what they said. I think they said they declared them hostile witnesses instantly there, so that because if they continue with this trend, their case will be very, very fatal, will be very, very bad. I think politics have happened to these witnesses because I don't know how you will go to court and you said you didn't come with your agent tag, all those things that will identify. How did you go to court? You said you are an agent. That is, anybody can walk into the court and say he's an agent of a political party. I think what happened to these persons they brought, subsequently, they should get, like I said, before you get witnesses to go and testify, there should be a witnesses that you can vouch for, a witnesses that has a high level of integrity. You don't bring people who are hungry, who can be swayed by 10,000, 20,000 naira. When they go to court, they begin to misbehave. But it's very bad that you supported a political party. At least you support the political party to the end. If you are a witness to a political party that you believe in, and people don't just join political party because of what they will get. They should join political party because they believe in that political party ideology and everything about the political party. Right. It's unfortunate that these witnesses are spoiling the case of the opposition. Because me, I think I would have loved the opposition to have win that election in Kogi State. But since this APC...
Why would you have loved
I wasn't... I'm not a member of APC member.
So anybody that will talk to be APC, it's okay.
That is my position.
Interesting. Local government chairman of the Labour Party in Adamawa State has sacked the state chairman of the party, Christopher Nicholas. 18 of the 21 local government chairmen of the Labour Party in the state gathered in the capital, Yola, and made their move against the state chairman and all other members of the state executive committee, accusing them of incompetence. The chairman, led by the state chairman of the Labour Party Association of Local Government of Nigeria, Reverend Elia Matthias, who is equally the chairman of the party in LGA, said they decided to remove Nicholas and members of the executive committee because he is incapable of steering the affairs of the party. In the text of the vote of no confidence read to the newsmen by the Adamawa LP Algon chairman, the party chairman accused Nicholas of anti-party activities, alleging that he is the state chairman of both the Labour and the Accord party. Mr. Obina, over to you. What do you think?
Well, I just laughed because I saw that they say he's a member of both
he's a chairman of
Labour Party and the Accord Party. I don't know how that this could have
maybe
been possible.
Maybe that's the background of the anti-party allegation.
Allegation, okay. But what I'm saying is that if 18 out of, I think 21 local government state school of the party, they call them, at the state, they call them State Executive Council of the party. Like in our party, People Democratic Party, the local government chairmen of our parties have constitutional backing to sack the state school. If it is what is in their constitution that the party, the state school has constituted, can sack their state chairman, and if they have met all the constitutional requirements of their own party, I think there is nothing wrong. And again, they have given reason that necessitated why they removed him. This is politics in action. We want to make sure they remove him and put another people. That is how it is played all over. But my problem is that you must play within the rules. Okay. Whatever thing you want, whether it is because morality in politics have no place at all. As long as we are concerned, what is important is that you must win election and hold the lever of power. Then if they know that that is what will aid them to win election in Adamawa State by 2027, they have to go for it. As long as they do it within the law of their political party, there is no issue. I don't have issue. I'm not against them. What I'm saying is that if it is what their constitution says, they should go ahead and do that.
Barrister, forgive me. Mr. Obina made a very interesting comment as a politician. He said morality has no place in politics. That was a very striking comment. But then, what do you think of this whole issue that happened in the Adamawa State, sir?
Well, I don't know what their law says concerning the removal of elected party executives from office. But I wonder how it is possible for local government party chairmen to gather and remove, because it's not just the chairman. The vote of confidence and sack was on all these state ESCO, from what we are told here. It's not just the chairman. Now that you just local government party chairman will meet and say we have removed the state executives. If that is what is in their constitution, to me, it is not democratic enough, because the state ESCO, as I know, in other parties. I have been the state administrative secretary of a PC in Rivers State. I was from 2014 to 2018. I was the state administrative secretary of APC in the state. So I ran that the APC for about 6 to 7 years. I did all the administrative work. So I know how parties are run. So it will be very, very undemocratic for 18 local government chairmen to gather and say we have removed and sacked the state ESCO, when these executives were elected by delegates, because that is what is in the constitution of most of the political parties. They are elected by delegates from the local government election. Can you just remove people that are above you and that you don't on your own alone elected them? But just as I said, I don't know what is contained in their constitutions. Setting that I know is in almost all the party constitutions, most of the ones I have read. When there is crisis like this and you say you've removed a party official from the ward to the local government, to the state, to the state, there must be ratification from the federal. There must be ratification from a superior authority. In short, the national must ratify before such things could be effective. So they will have said what they have said. They will have taken the action they will have taken, but it behoves the national party to ratify or decide not to ratify and disagree with them on the removal, on the sack of these officials. But I still wonder where they will derive their power until I read the Labour Party constitution very well. But even if they have such powers, I know that it will require from the national party, which for now is also seriously in crisis, serious crisis. So I don't know if they will even have such time or even power or even be constituted enough to look into it. Currently, the Labour Party is going into areas that if they are not checked, the party will just be a mere party with no potency, because the crisis is bedeviling the party from nooks and every nook and cranny. To me, is too much. Now it again in Plateau State, you have it in some other states too.
All right, Mr. Umekano, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio has said that the decision and resolution to suspend Senator Abdul Ningi, PDP Bauchi, was that of the Senate sitting in plenary and not that of Akpabio. Kalu stated this in a letter to human rights lawyer Femi Falana titled "Request to Lift the Suspension of Senator Abdul Ningi," and made available to newsmen in Abuja on Thursday. Correspondent reports that Ningi was suspended by the Senate for 3 months on March 12 over the 2024 budget burden action. Let me start with you, Barrister Forgiven. Now, Ningi, Akpabio has replied Femi Falana, and he's saying it's the Senate that suspended Abdul Ningi, not me, so you can't hold me liable.
Yeah, I agree with the position of Senator Akpabio that the suspension of Abdul Ningi was that of the entire Senate in a plenary and not the personal decision or action of Akpabio. So you cannot hold him personally responsible for the fact that he presided over the session. It was a collective decision of the Senate. So if he is taking any legal action, it should first of all be on the Senate entirety. Well, if you want to sue Akpabio, the fact that he was the presiding officer, you could join him as one of the parties, but the decision, just like Akpabio said, was that of the Senate of the whole Senate. So you shouldn't hold just one person responsible for it. After all, it was not Akpabio that moved the motion for his suspension. It was not Akpabio. He only presided over the session. He shouldn't be held personally responsible for performing his official responsibility and duty. I so agree with him in his response to the highly revered SCN Falana.
All right. Mr. Obina.
Well, it's very, like my brother, forgive me, have said, you can't hold Akpabio responsible for the decision of the Senate. He presided over the decision. Somebody moved the motion, somebody seconded, and I think vote was taken or whatever, whichever process they used to arrive at it, and he gave effect to it. You can't, it can't be held liable to decision taken by the Senate. It's like Rivers State governor.
You can't single him out.
You can't single him. It's like a Rivers State governor sitting, and at the end of the day, decision is taken. If you want to sue him, you sue the Rivers State government attorney general. You can't sue the Rivers State governor. It's not possible. Senate is an institution of its own, and if they take decision as Senate, you don't hold anybody responsible, because Akpabio will leave tomorrow. The Senate will continue to be there. What we're saying is that the lawyer to the Senate president made a very valid point, and the issue of whether Ningi was suspended rightly or wrongly is not an issue. But what we're saying is that for the position that Senate president took, you can't hold him liable. Because me, I think Ningi was elected by his people. If he must be removed, I think I have my thinking otherwise. They will recall him. But however, the Senate president cannot be held liable as long as this matter is concerned.
Okay. Motivated by the outcome of the recent presidential election in Senegal, which produced 44-year-old Bassirou Diomaye Faye as president of that country, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has called on opposition political parties in Nigeria to learn from the exercise and form a coalition ahead of the 2027 general election. Congratulating the Senegalese president-elect, Atiku said one of the ways to remove APC from office was for opposition political parties to unite into a strong coalition, as was the case in 2015 when the opposition rallied together to remove the People's Democratic Party from power. I'll start with you, Barrister Forgiven. You are a member of the APC, correct?
No, I'm in the PDP as of today.
Okay.
I was formerly, I was formerly one of the leaders of APC
now,
in Rivers State.
You will be in a very good position to discuss this matter. What do you think of what Atiku has said?
Yeah, just like I said, I was part of the coalition that formed APC from 2013-2014, leading to the 2015 general elections. I played sensitive and critical roles as far as Rivers State APC was concerned during those periods. So the APC was a coalition of people with same ideology. When a coalition is done on ideological basis, it makes it stronger. You understand? And what was the ideology? Let us have a better Nigeria, whether it succeeded or not. But that was the motivating factor that formed the coalition. Atiku is calling for a coalition. You don't just form a coalition for the sake of winning powers or removing somebody. There are a coalition of opposition that should have the support of the people, must have clear-cut agenda. These are the things that are motivating us to coalesce, to come together to form this party. And that will be if the government, as it is presently constituted, the APC government at the federal is failing or is not performing well. It should be on what we Nigerians want is pro-people coalition, not coalition that you will just want to have power. People supported the Senegalese president, Bassirou Diomaye fired because he was an ideological fighter. Remember that he won this election from prisons. He was imprisoned for his cause. In short, that imprisonment endeared him to the people. And people from across party lines supported him. And another thing went for him. He was a very young person, 44 years. You understand? So these are some of the reasons that motivated people to form the coalition that was able to wrest power, take over power from an incumbent party president to him. So I am saying that Atiku has not given us any ideological reason why the APC, as led by Tinubu, should be removed by a coalition of parties and persons. Let him give us his reasons, to the reason of removing him. We are tired of people who just want to have power because they need power, because they want power, because they want to rule us, because it is their right to rule, because they are born to rule. We want rulers with leaders with ideological persuasion, leanings, cleavages, that when we look at what they have to offer to Nigerians, we'll see that it is different from what we've been having. Nigeria is in their need of resuscitation and upliftment. The government of the day, in their policies, to me, you may disagree with me, is trying. There may not be results, so many results immediately, but the long-term result, I believe, will come. Let us give them a little time. I told you, let us give them a little time and see if so many things that we were agitating, some of us have been agitating should happen, are happening. We don't see the result. We don't seem to see the immediate results. But with time, nobody believed that the dollars will rise and ever crash and come down, because for years it has been in upward scale. It didn't start in the time of the present government, but this is the only time for over almost 20 years we've seen the dollar reduce, exchange rate lowering as against the naira. It has always been on upward movement. So that should be an indicator that some of these policies that we are criticizing, that are giving us seeming hardship, may in the long run be favorable. Some of us have been agitating for the removal of oil subsidy, no matter what it will cost us, because we know the fraud that is involved in oil subsidy. Just few persons we are being enriched at the expense of the entire citizens. It was a fraud, and so many other policies that are being implemented now. I believe that in the long run, we will see results. So coalition should be on ideological basis that will be beneficial to Nigerians, not just because we want to take over power.
Right. Oh, Mr. Obinna, Barrister, for giving his questioning the motive behind the call for a merger of opposition parties. But then what do you think?
I think the man who is calling for the merger is a suspect, because like Forgiven said, he has not given us a reason why we should believe in his position. What we're saying is that if he has believed in this merger earlier before this time, Bola Ahmed Tinubu wouldn't have been the president of this country. Because if you look at the votes garnered by Labour Party, Nigerian People's Party, the party that produced the Kano State governor, the NNPP, and you look at that of PDP, you will know, if you put them together, you know that Bola Tinubu would have not been president. The opposition would have won that election. But because of the man that is calling for this merger, his interest is that it must be him. This man has been running elections since 1992, presidential election. What time does he require to give a break? Let him give a break so that others will come in. The man who won election, the guy who won election in Senegal, is a young man. This is time where he, even when the merger he's talking of, let the interest be that we should give the young people opportunity to come up on board, to take over leadership. It is not, before the 2027, he will be more than 80 years. And what is he coming to do? What is he coming to offer? His interest is to become president. And it must not be him. What we're saying is that this time, Bola Tinubu, by our arrangement, the power should remain in the south for 8 years. Let him give him that opportunity to finish 8 years so that power will move back to the north. I'm not against merger. That is what a serious opposition should do. But why didn't we do it in that election? There was an opportunity for us to have done that. But because everything was centered on him, and he didn't want to give another body another opportunity, that was why that opportunity eluded us. What we're saying is that the man who is calling for this merger is a suspect, and I don't believe in him, and I don't believe in this is called. If it's called by another person, I will follow up. That is my position.
All right. Now, when you look at the call for merger, still on the call for merger, when you look at what happened in the 2023 elections with the way Labour Party bamboozled the Nigerian political space and how it puts both APC and PDP on their toes, do you think Nigerians are actually interested in a merger right now, or they are interested in the person? Because a lot of persons said it wasn't about the political party, it was about the person in the political party. Do you think right now, with the way things are in the country and with the level of political consciousness, you know, and awareness that Nigerians have come into, do you think it's about the party, or you think it's about the person right now?
Well, I think, like I have always said, I said what happened in 2003 as regards the Labour Party was a fluke. Because
you say it was a fluke?
Completely, because I agree that if not for P2B, I think Labour Party wouldn't have made any impact at all. What we're saying is that you can remove P2B from Labour Party will be a shadow of itself. What we're saying is that this thing is a combination of the individual and the political structure.
Now, if you say it was a combination, it's a combination of the individual and the political structure.
Yes.
If P2B had moved to ADC,
he wouldn't have made he would have also made that impact. He would have also made that same impact. Because if you see in Labour, there are people they call the obedient and the Labour Party members. The obedient are more people because they are following the individual. If he had even moved to ABGA, he would have made that same impact. But what we're saying is that because the political party he went into does not have the spread in structure, that is why he couldn't win that election. I know what I'm talking. As I'm here, I know what I'm talking. That if P2B had succeeded in PDP, he would have won that election. If he had succeeded in APC, he would have won that election. Because APC, PDP has the structure to the ward and unit level.
Okay.
In my local government, there are several units that we didn't have. More than 70% of the unit doesn't have Labour Party's agent. And you can't run an election without having those agents there. It's not possible. Even at the collection center, we couldn't see the Labour Party agent. What we're saying is that you must do the combination of the individual and the political structure.
There must be a balance.
It must be a balance.
Right.
But if you check what happened in Senegal, that political party has been consistent. He has been running election as opposition party. In fact, the main man who was supposed to run that election on his own withdrew because he believed that the fire will succeed. That is how it is. If Atiku had given way to P2B, today P2B would have been in the saddle. But because he doesn't want, and Nigerians are fed up and saying that what will you come and bring again that we have not seen? And because he's from the north, because Nigerians, it's natural. Nigerians have said we will continue to do this in north and south. He came and ran that election. That is why he failed. Right. And today he is calling for merger. Let him tell us who will run that election. Is it him that will still run again, or he will?
He will not give.
Yeah, I totally agree with my brother here, Obina, as to the article calling for this merger being suspect. Yes. You know, this is a man that has been pushing to have the presidency for years, for decades. And he's the one calling for the merger. And we asked the question, the rhetorical question, must it be you to emerge as a presidential candidate? Is he ready to concede to perhaps the merger of opposition is done? Is he ready to support other candidates other than himself. That's the questions by the side. But let me tell you, let me say it here for us that, you see, what happened in 2023 in respect of Peter Obi and the Labour Party was a thing of the moment. And I tell people that what Peter Obi represents or represented as at then was not Peter Obi as a person per se. He represented a larger interest group who were tired of the status quo and wanted a paradigm shift to probably a younger person or somebody who has not held a very known national offices. They needed a shift from the norm, from the normal. And amongst the contenders, Peter Obi seemed to them to represent that factor. That was why you saw the coalition of groups, NGOs, smaller political parties coming to individuals, independent people supporting Peter Obi, not because they like Peter Obi face too much. People should not mistake the support Peter Obi had as in 2023 to mean that he was a perfect person, that he was liked by everybody and he is perfect. No, he represented an interest that were prevalent as at that time, leading from the NSAS protest. You know, that NSAS protest generated an interest group who wanted a shift from what was existing. And they were preparing for the 2023 election. When it came, they galvanized themselves and created that huge awareness that spurred people from their kitchens to begin to identify with the group. If you ask some of them in the village, this Peter Obi that you are supporting, I did. I said, this Peter Obi that you are talking about, what do you know about him? They know nothing about him. They just know that it was a bandwagon effect, and this man will bring change. That's what they are told, that he will bring change. It will be different from what is happening. Nigeria will be better with him. So if, as at that time, Peter Obi had gone to any political party, just like my Obina said, that party will have still had that support. But one of the greatest undoing of Peter Obi was that the Labour Party structure that he inherited did not have a nationwide spread. You cannot win an election in Nigeria, no matter how popular you may be, without inheriting a strong structure. Even here in River State, you cannot win an election in River State here that you don't have, when you don't have a strong structure. Structure matters a lot. The structure is very important. Structure matters a lot. You must have a strong structure that you will have agents in all the local governments, all the wards, all the voting units to monitor your election and to sway people to support you. If not, you will only be a sectional winner that will not give you the needed two-third majority to win elections.
We are out of time, Barrister Forgive. We are out of time. This is where we wrap it up on this episode of Open Conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Obina, for coming.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Barrister Forgiving, for coming on Open Conversation.
Yeah, thank you for having me here once again. And thank you dearly, our viewers out there, for your patience and time to listen to us.
All right, you can always follow us and stay connected on all ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Do not forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. I am Ogu Laurentia Choma. Transition News comes up next. Don't go away.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth: the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the Tonte. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news